That is the expectations of Lagosians in 2026. If I ask you, what are your expectations in 2026? As we begin 2026, it is a new year, and expectations are naturally high. Lagosians are hopeful for better living conditions, improved governance, economic stability, and inclusive development in 2026. Now, from transportation and security to cost of living, youth inclusion, and grassroots governance, citizens are beginning to ask critical questions. What should the government deliver this year? What are the roles of citizens themselves? Because most times we tend to look at what the government is doing, what the government has not done, forgetting that the citizens also have their own role to play. Now, joining us, to unpack these issues, we have with us here Mr. Laide Akol. He is a public and international affairs analyst. You're welcome, Mr. Laide.
My pleasure.
And joining us via Zoom is Are Oladotun Hassan. He is a lawyer and president, Yoruba Council Worldwide. Are Hassan, are you there? Okay, he'll be joining us via Zoom, but some network issues over there, but we'll hear his voice as the conversation progresses. But let's start the conversation here. As we begin 2026, it's a new year, like I said, and expectations are not, it's natural for you to have expectations, especially when it's a new year. You have a lot of people talking about New Year resolutions, their goals, what they aim to achieve. But, as a Lagosian, someone living in Lagos, what do you think is, looking at the, maybe you've had conversations with a few people, since the year began, how would you view the natural or the overall mood of Lagosians? And also, you can also chip in your own expectations this new year.
Well, first of all, let me start by wishing everybody a happy new year, starting from the number one citizen of the state, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, his deputy, his entire cabinet, then the House of Assembly members, then your station here, from your GM and everybody. I wish you a happy and prosperous 2026. And same wish to every Lagosian. So I wish everybody a happy new year. So having done that, expectations are high, definitely, like you have said. But then, first, before expectations, let us even look at what the government has been able to do. Because, take it or leave it, the government has achieved a lot, So now, if you look at hierarchy of needs, or let me say Maslow hierarchy of needs, the basic need that everybody has in life is food, shelter, clothing. Now let me put transportation into it, So if you look at all this, and you now just focus on Lagos, I think government has done a lot, but a lot more is still expected, This year, definitely, I believe the state government would deliver on Lagos Food Hub. Everybody knows what Lagos Food Hub is. But for those who don't know, it's going to be a logistics center where it's situated around Ketueriun in Ekpe. So where you are going to have,
to that.
So I'm telling you what government has been able to do.
Yeah.
Before we have expectations. First, it's not as if Lagos started this year, or rather, so government has been, and it's not as if the government started this year. So I just want to, first of all, tell us government has been able to do things. But then, okay, now let's look at expectations as well. There are certain things the government has achieved. However, it has not trickled down to the ordinary citizens. And there's a little feeling on the part of government. I will give you an example.
Okay.
Around 24 or 25th December, I saw something on social media. I don't know the person, but it must be one of the union members around Mushin.
Okay.
Mushin Oshodi Axis. Somebody, recorded this and posted it on Facebook, and I said, this is what government should be doing. The drivers, as usual, have increased the fare. So the person now got out and started telling people you shouldn't pay more than 200 naira, and he forced all the drivers to ensure that they didn't charge more than 200 naira, because he was asking them, what would you say was responsible?
Fuel
is available.
The price of fuel.
The price is fair. Some of you use CNG. Roads are good. No, so what would you say was responsible? So this is part of what government should do.
Okay.
You know, so that is one. When you talk of needs, because transportation is a basic need. Not everybody has a vehicle, and even if you have a vehicle, you may have children who go to different schools and they need to board. And if you have calculated that, okay, what will cost this girl or boy to go to school and back is just 1,000 naira, and he gets to the bus stop and they tell him, instead of 300 naira or 400 naira, you are going to pay 600 naira. Where is he going to get the extra sum? So this is part of what Lagosians expect. You know, where people don't want all the achievement of government to show, government should make sure that they stand on their feet and force the hands of people who are about, you know, mitigating against the tangible success of the government. You know, that's one. Then another thing I saw on social media, that's part of what made me know, okay, these are some of the things Lagosians expected. That one went to about a few shops where they sell cooked food.
Okay.
So he started comparing notes that when Gary was so amount per measure, so certain measures, you know, he mentioned all the so he said the volume people who sell cooked food sell is still what they sell when it is now 400 naira, or you know, like that. He said the same thing about cooked rice. He said the same thing about other food items. So that means people on their own know that government, both at the center and at the state level, are recording a number of achievements. But certain people who are like gatekeepers don't let it get down, and government is looking away, or maybe government is not. So government should try to, even if it's only information, you know, so government should try to step up their game in that area, so that people would know.
Okay, let's get Are Oladotun Hassan. It's good to have you join us on the conversation. Can you hear me?
Yes, a pleasure to be your program.
All right. Good morning. Happy New Year.
I can hear you clearly.
All right. Yeah. I've gotten Mr. Olade's perspective on what he feels are the moods of Lagosians. So let me also get your own perspective. Like I said in my intro, that it is a new year and it's natural to have expectations on what you want from the government, and of course government from the people as well. And so in your own perspective, how do you view the mood of Lagosians? What do you think are their expectations as we, you know, progress in this new year?
First of all,
we can't hear you, Are Oladotun. We can't hear you, Are Oladotun. The network is not friendly. Hopefully we get our engineers to work on that. Let me come back to you here in the studio. Network is not being friendly to us at the moment. So having highlighted some of the things that you feel, I mean, looking at what has been posted on social media, which can also be alluded to some of the pulses of the people. For the government now, where do you think should be one of their top areas of concerns in meeting the needs of the people? When you answer that, then we will now get into what the governor reeled out for 2026.
I think during the Thanksgiving service, which I saw, which the governor hosted, the First Family and Ministry of Home Affairs hosted at TBS, I think the governor talked about his vision for this 2026, and he made a lot of promises. And I think he tagged the budget of shared prosperity. So if you look at that and you look at things he has done, the government has done, you will know that, okay, there's a lot to expect. There's a lot, so much to expect. But if we take it one by one, let me start from housing, for instance. You know, if you go across Lagos, especially the urban areas, there's virtually any space you won't see that is built up. But then people still say there's housing deficit in Lagos, you know?
Yeah, maybe because of the number of people that are trooping into the country, into the state.
Yeah, that's a fact. However, you still see some houses that are inhabited, you know, empty here and there, and you know, many factors. I think part of the problem the ordinary citizens have is cost of rent, you know. So I expect the government, and government has taken steps. That's why you have an agency like LASERA, Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Agency, you know, trying to cut off the hands of all these unscrupulous elements in rent and stuff like that. And I remember LASERA has held maybe 1 or 2 conferences at a hotel like that, but people have not felt the impact. So government has to. Last year there was so much talk about rent law and
tenancy bill,
you know, at the rent bill and stuff like that at the House of Assembly. So government should work harder on that to ensure that Lagosians don't pay through their nose to get a decent house. Because if you look at it, landlords today will demand 2 years rent, a year rent, and there's no employer, not even the government, that pays you 1 year up front. You know, I'm an employer of labor, so I don't pay 1 year up front. So all employees earn their salary monthly. So like the government is trying to do that, people should pay rent monthly. So I think government should work hard on that so that rent is paid monthly. Then in area of transportation, government has...
Before we go into transportation, because since you brought about the issue of the tenancy bill now, our guest, Ari Oladotun, is also a lawyer. So, you know, with the Lagos tenancy bill, it is aimed at regulating rent payments and protecting tenants. How much relief do you think this will bring to Lagosians? I mean, realistically now, how much do you think it will bring relief to Lagosians? And, you know, from my own perspective, when I looked at the bill, it kind of was one-sided. It was just all out to protect the tenants, but also the landlords are people as well. Do you think that it needs to be balanced? Let me hear your view on this from your perspective as a lawyer.
Yes. Actually, the tenancy rent law is not in the favor of the real victim. Who are the real victim? The landlord. And it's quite unfortunate. And I wish Lagos state government would equally go into housing to build a mass housing, especially to set out on how to manage tenants in a real sense of it. That law itself do not protect the investment of the landlord. How will a tenant be? A lot of the tenants see it more as a weapon to shield themselves from paying rent. You see a lot of tenants, we have a lot of aggressive tenants. I've had experiences whereby tenants want to stay over 2, 3, 4 years. If you go to the United States of America, once your rent is due, you don't need the law court to tell you that you need to vacate. If you cannot pay, it is just a contract. It's a private contract. So such laws on its own should not even be tolerated, because what brings you and the landlord tenant, if you cannot pay, even if it is a monthly tenancy, if you cannot pay for the preceding month or the next month, you should be ready to vacate on your own, even with a notice. That notice on its own should not even expect a law court to go through the rigors, because the rigors of a law court would even allow a tenant to spend more than a year, 2 years in a premises, because of the rigors of the technicality of, you know, when you set everything before the court. We have a period of holidays, we have period of long adjournment dates, because of the dockets of our magistrate and our court processing. So the government needs to do more to protect the landlord, because it does not give a good investment protection to the landlord. So I want to advise that even if the government plays timelines for those matters to be adjudicated, in reality, those things don't go that way. You serve a tenant a notice, the tenant will be evading you, you send him by text, or he will go all out. Some tenants go all out to take over property from the landlord. They are more, especially in Lagos. Lagos is a very, very treacherous environment. You can't do that in the north. Once your tenancy is due, you will just subject them to court, and the customer there within 7 days. And if you don't have anything, then they will serve you the vacation order. But here, you will see the technicalities from the lawyers, the lying techniques of tenants. So governors should do more to abrogate that law and serve an emergency law that protects housing, land, not just housing alone. The need for landlord to even be paying the land use charge when the government is collecting their land use charge uninterrupted, and it gets to the landlord now to collect tenant from the to collect tenancy fee from the tenant, it becomes a problem. So if the government can protect its own interest in investment of land, the government should do more for that payer, which is the landlord, more in order to ensure that they are protected. Sometimes landlord tenancy in some way should be criminalized, because some tenants, even when they get the vacation order, they will take up over 3 years rent and run away.
Okay, I would not want us to dwell so much on this issue, because that's not the focus. But again, the truth is there are terrible tenants and there are terrible landlords.
My personal experience of practice.
Okay.
So I'm only advising the governor
to balance it, right?
To ensure that they should balance more on the side of the landlord. They should ensure that landlords are giving a leeway. Any tenant after 14 days, after your 7 days notice, you don't need a 30 days notice. You don't need 6 month notice.
Okay.
Because that 6 months or 3 months will gravitate that tenant into becoming a monster.
Okay.
All you need is just 14 days. If you cannot pay, vacate immediately.
We are grateful that we have
I would even prefer a tenancy tribunal rather than the court process. Because if the governor can establish a tenancy tribunal, it is easier for the landlord to just walk into the tribunal and summon the tenant. And that will be very faster rather than going through the rigors of a normal process of a court process.
Okay,
a lot of lawyers can tell you that this is the best way to go.
All right, thank you so much, Are. We are blessed here in Lagos that we have a listening governor, and we know that he's listening to everything that we are discussing at the moment. So now let's come down to yesterday. You mentioned the Thanksgiving that happened in Lagos, and some of the things that Governor Sanwo-Olu said at the event. And so I want us to talk about it. He listed several projects slated for completion in 2026, from hospitals to transport infrastructure. And now, so from a citizen's perspective, how do you measure this success? Is it by just project announcement, or by how quickly these facilities will be delivered to improve lives in Lagos?
Yeah, well, when you look at projects, you could say, okay, we have 12 months time frame, but then there are factors that could make that 12 months become 15 months, you know, and part of it may even be out of your control, like weather, stuff like that. So the government and particularly the administration of Babajide Sanwo-Olu has delivered quite on a number of his promises, even some of them which he didn't even say when he was starting out. He has taken them on and he has delivered on them. But then, like you asked, I sincerely hope that he would walk the talk. There's a particular area I want to call the attention of the government to, potable water. You know, as at 2025, I think government budgeted not less than 54 billion naira for water. I mean, safe drinking water that we will fetch from tap. But look at it. What percentage of Lagos has water today? You know, if you don't drink bottled water, you drink sachet water. That's even aside. A lot of neighborhoods, you know, more especially in some places, in the suburbs, they buy water. And what's the source of that water? And it's this same water they used to cook, to do many things. And you know what water is connected to? Health. Because water can affect you if, and it may not show. The water may look clean, you know, because water is colorless. It may not have odor, but then it may be unsafe for drinking. So I, as a person, and I believe a lot of people, expect that government will deliver, you know, on water, because a lot of money has been spent, and virtually every quarter you hear that work is ongoing on the water works and all the minimum water works in Lagos. So what is happening? Where is the water? But then I think part of the problem is, more especially when you get to many neighborhoods, more especially the newly developed areas, you don't even see the pipes around there. So while government is spending on that, and I believe I hope government will involve private developers and everybody, because in some countries, when estates are being developed, all the things that will go up to internet will be part of what you plan, you know, integrated in the things you provide, not just road. Here we only provide roads, then because we expect that people will sink borehole, and sinking borehole everywhere has its own defect. You know, it has its own risk.
Okay.
So government should step up its game on potable water supply to General of Lagos. And Lagos is a state that is surrounded by large bodies of water. So how come we don't have water in Lagos?
Okay, because of our time is really not on our side. Are Oladosun, let me also get your own opinion. Still talking about what Governor Sanwo-Olu talked about for 2026 with large-scale road, rail, and water transport projects on the way across different parts of the state. How confident should Lagosians be, you know, in ensuring that this investment will significantly impact lives? Are you there?
Yes, yeah. You know, for me, I believe the governor is doing excellently well when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to his commitment, when it comes to excellent service delivery, and I'm sure he's a pathfinder for all other governors to take on, to even they come to Lagos to learn from Lagos, and it goes to say that Lagos Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, CON, is a proactive governor, and I must salute his courage and his Omoluabi character, his demeanor is one thing to really write home about, that he's doing well, and that's where I salute his courage in that regard. However, it's very more important that Mr. Governor should equally explore the whole method of how we used to enjoy this our town hall meeting. Initially, you know, you remember the Fashola, the Ambode days, we used to have this town hall meeting across the local government, across the 5 divisions of Lagos, so that will be an annual thing. You know, Mr. Governor have told Lagosians, well,
okay, network over there not being friendly, but let me get your view on that question I asked him briefly.
No, it's a good one that he was saying that government should try to engage with people. Government engages, but then at times having people. I think it's
solution we used to have. I'm only advising that in terms of road network, even there are some certain areas, because as we are here, we are equally speaking on behalf of Lagosians. And I'm using this opportunity to equally allow the governor that somewhere around the Aja axis, by that agglomeration towards Aja, maybe before the bridge, the road area is mostly impassable. So governor should engage this, we used to have this night rehabilitation worker, always repairing road. You know, we need those things to come back. So we need to follow up so that as Mr. Governor is performing, sometimes Mr. Governor could have even given a directive, and that directive is not followed. If the commissioners are not doing it, let the local government within those axes also perform. Let them surcharge the governor if they are relocating some section of the road. Maybe just like the state will equally the federal government if a project, they get the rebate back. So Mr. Governor have told us those excellent plans for the new year. It's a welcome idea. We saw him during the Thanksgiving service. It's a whole welcome idea. But we need more of cooperation, especially in the area of protecting citizens' rights. Mr. Governor should do more in the area of land allocation, demolition. There are crises in those areas. We cannot say there are no issues. Where the citizens are paying, government should be ready to provide suitable relief, not an afterthought. Those relief should come as a conversation. If government want to make use of some particular area, let them engage the citizens properly. Let there be proper movement of those people or relocation, so that the citizens will not just be a silent in pain. So for me, as an advocate of justice for the people, I still believe that Lagos is a performing state, but however we need to have due consultation with the people, the State House of Assembly members.
All right, Oladoto, time is not on our side. I might have to cut you short there. Time is not on our side, but one last question for you both. Beyond government responsibilities now, what do you expect of the citizens to also support government in shaping 2026?
Well, people
Briefly, please.
People should know that they are part of the government, and they are even the government themselves in a way, because many things that people do is what constitutes some of the problems we expect the government to come and solve. Take sanitation, for instance. If everybody takes good care of their waste, if everybody manages waste very well, you won't have problems of flooding, recurrent flooding, in some cases. But how would you not have flooding when people have dumped waste in the drainages, in the canals, and when rain now falls, or rather there's water overflow and the water cannot move, so it will find its level. So people should take ownership of their own responsibility, by making sure that they play their part. Area of waste management is one. But government too should step up their, these days I don't see all these kind of officials anymore. And you go to many streets, especially those who sell all these noodles seller by the street. If there are some streets where you have them in numbers. Now, if you see them early evening, go to that same street following morning. The next junction or road median to where you have them, you see a heap of their eggshells, a heap of all the wrapper of the noodles.
So the issue of the environment,
sanitation, government should step up, and people too should cooperate more with the government on that.
All right, time is not on our side for today's conversation, but we must thank you again, Are Oladoto Hassan. He is a lawyer, President, Yoruba Council Worldwide, and Mr. Laide Akowo, Public and International Affairs Analyst, for sharing your thoughts on expectations of Lagosians in 2026. One thing is certain, the government has a role to play, but the people also have their own parts to play in ensuring that 2026 is indeed a year where we enjoy shared prosperity, as declared by the governor. Thank you so much again for your time on the conversation.
My pleasure.
The program continues shortly.
Thank you very much.